episode 59 of my Doll's House Diary. Now I've got a bit of a mixed episode for you today. I'm going to start off doing a few bits and pieces around the house, and then I'm going to finish off with a complete rundown of what I've got planned and what will be coming up in future episodes. So let's get started. So I've just started off this morning by applying another coat of the walnut wood dye to my flooring sheet, just to darken it up another shade. I did my other pieces of flooring at the same time for the Mountville Doll's House. And once this has completely dried, I can put the nail holes in, and then I can actually fit it into place in the doll's house. I also sanded the pieces for the door surround and the attic pieces, and I've given those another coat of paint as well. So once the floor had completely dried, I made the little nail holes just using my scribe tool, and I now want to glue this into place. So before gluing your flooring into place, just make sure that you've got a nice clean and smooth surface to glue it to, especially if, like me, you're doing a renovation project. So at the back of this area here, just below the sloping ceiling, there was actually quite a bit of quite hard paper, and that was obviously from the flooring that I had stuck down before and where the glue had dried and then gone hard. So I actually used a chisel to chisel that off, and then I got the vacuum cleaner out and I've given this whole area a clean. And although it still looks rather messy, if I rub my hand along there, it is now a nice smooth surface. So I'm now ready to glue the flooring sheet into place. So I applied the glue directly to the back of the flooring and then glued that into place, covered it over with some kitchen towel, and then I've weighted it down with some tins. So I'll leave that probably overnight now, let that completely dry into place. And whilst I was waiting for the flooring to dry into place, I attached the front door surround and the skirting board. I've also just worked a little bit of filler into the corners there of the skirting board. I'm going to leave that to dry, and then I'll sand and just go over with another light coat of paint. And I've also fitted the surrounds around the loft opening up there, and you can see there that I've actually just popped the hatch into place. So I'll need to do a little bit of filling around the surrounds here, and again I'll just put a light coat of paint over that once that's dry. So I've also cut skirting for the upper landing area. So I've also given those pieces a coat of paint. They're now completely dry and ready to be glued into place. But I forgot to mention earlier that for that back piece there, I cut one long strip, whereas normally I would cut a piece to go along that little back piece of flooring and then a piece to go here. But because there isn't actually any stairs coming up that this is going to get in the way of, I've just done it as the one long strip. The attic lid then goes nicely back into place, so it doesn't block that. And I just think it looks a lot neater than having that sort of open edge along there. So have a think about that as well when you're sort of in the final loft area. So I'll now glue these pieces into place. And just to show you as well, I've also sanded away the filler and applied another light coat of paint in that little entrance area. I think what I will do is just put another little bit of paint along that sort of step there inside the front door, just because the angle I'm looking at it from now, I can just see that sort of bare wood which sits on the inside of the door. So I'll touch that up as well, and then that's that little area complete for now. So that's the skirting glued into place now in there as well. Nice and straightforward, so there's not really any filling to do up there. That all fitted nicely into place, and I've just popped the little attic lid into place there. So this area, I think I said before, I'm not actually going to paint the doors. I want this area to look a little bit shabby and undecorated, and I may even sand up the floor a little bit. but I won't go sort of too mad with that. But certainly on this wall, I want to have some suitcases and trunks and things like that. So we'll be making some of those, and we'll sort of have them piled out here as sort of overspill from the main attic, which is looking nice and full now. Now I've sort of been standing things in there which aren't going to go in there, like my table and everything from the landing, just whilst I was working in there. So some things will come out and I'll be adding other things in there as well, because I really like to give that sort of you know, packed look, sort of jam-packed look. So we'll have more boxes in there and storage. And I don't think I'm going to keep the Christmas tea chest in there. I made that really as a little display piece, but I don't think I'll have that in there. But we will have some sort of boxes just with a bit of tinsel coming out and things like that. So that sort of all needs sorting. And then if we just come down then into that back entrance way, I've got the camera on the tripod so I can't get it in there, but I did put some filler in that loft surround and painted over that as well. So that sort of back area now is almost complete. I do want to make obviously a ladder or some way of getting into the attic, and a couple of people had sent some really lovely pictures of some sort of stairs that fold down, but I don't want to spend too much time making stairs and things, because if you remember, I'm going to have that false wall there, so that's not at all going to be seen. So I don't really want to spend a lot of time making some sort of mechanical stairs when they're not really going to be seen. So I will just have some sort of ladder out there which we'll be able to sort of see through the open door. And I've actually got the false wall down here, so that's all ready to go. But I'm not going to glue that into place until obviously I have dressed that back area. So just move my light out of the way. That's that landing area done as well. And also the entrance. So all of those areas are now ready for moving in. I've got a little bit of floor polishing and things to do where I've been working in other areas. All of the dust has come down and sort of sunk into all the little gaps there, so I need to give it a good clean. But that can wait until I'm really ready to start making things and putting them inside. So I think I'm now at the stage where I'm more or less ready to move in. And I say more or less because obviously there are sort of more things to be done, and obviously most sort of noticeably the bathroom. But as I said earlier, I don't want to make a start on the bathroom or sort of get that room ready until I've finished the back landing area. So I have actually made a little table to go in there, but then I was looking at some images online and I'm thinking now about maybe having some dark wood furniture, so that will be in the landing and the sort of main landing area and then the entrance hall as well. And I just think dark wood furniture might look really nice against all of those pale walls. So let me just show you what I'd already made, and you've probably obviously seen these because I did tutorials for them. So I made that little unit there to sort of stand at the back of the landing area there, and I'll have a little picture above that and some flowers and things on there. And then I made a similar one. I've just sort of popped them in the attic for now. But I made a 2-drawer in the same style for the entrance hall, which I was going to have over here. But as it's sort of so light in there, I just think the dark might look a little bit nicer, like I say, against those pale walls. And things like this are sort of quite generic really, so I can always use these in another project. So I probably will remake those and probably still have sort of like a 2-drawer little table there, or a little console table, and then a smaller one again in that little top landing area. I also want to make the ladder then to go up into the attic, and as I've already said, that's just going to be a loose ladder, something really simple that we will just sort of glimpse through the door in this wall that will be going here. And possibly as well through the bedroom door when that's opened and looking out onto the landing. Maybe not from the front, so from this sort of angle that I'm at here, but we may be able to just see it through that little window looking out there. So once that door's open, we'll be able to see into the back landing area. So that'll be quite fun, and I like things like that you can only see from like certain little areas. I like all those little hidden areas. So let me just show you that false wall in place. So I'll just show you the back of that first. And again, if you've sort of been following the series, you would have seen me making this. So it's just a 5x5 strip wood frame. And then I just put the panels on. This is a little bit tight now, I think. So I'm going to squeeze that in there. And that actually sits really nicely into place there. And up against the edge of the coving that's in that room. Actually, I didn't put a piece that side, so just the coving at this side, and then against the floor at that side. So for that, I need to make a door, and then I want to have quite a lot of tiling in the bathroom, and we'll have a sort of traditional style bathroom, so hopefully I'll be able to get hold of a clawfoot bath, and then we'll have a little sink and obviously a toilet. And I think we spoke as well before about having the bath along the sort of fourth wall area, so that we'd sort of look over the bath and into the room. I think that might be quite nice. But the bathroom will probably be one of the last rooms that I do. So what I want to do now is just sort of have a look at each room and tell you what's sort of coming up next, I suppose, in these episodes. So we have still got quite a lot to do, so this series will probably go on throughout next year as well, and we'll basically now be making all of the furniture and accessories to go in the rooms. So with the little attic craft room up here, the first thing I really want to address in there, and it always looks worse actually looking through the camera, is that sort of ruckered line of paper on the ceiling there. And it's where there isn't any glue underneath. Now I thought that was because I hadn't gone over the copper tape, but I don't think the tape is under that section. I'm pretty sure the tape just runs straight along there where it sort of came in from the back, I think. I can't remember now, I've covered it all up, but I'm pretty sure the tape is just along there, so I'm not sure why I haven't put glue under that section of paper. I'm certainly just sort of feeling it with my finger. I can't feel anything under there. So I may just have to, I don't know, I could probably wet that just very lightly, or even put some more paint on would probably be the best thing. I was thinking of spraying it with water, but I think probably another coat of paint, and then use my hairdryer and see if I can get that to shrink back. So I'll have a go at that, because whenever I look at that through the camera, well, you can obviously see it in real life as well, not just through the camera, but it just highlights it on the camera because of the shadows. So yeah, I want to try and get that sorted out. But then obviously in this room we've got lots and lots of miniatures to make, so lots of little craft supplies, and we've also we've already done, you know, quite a few already, but there's lots more to go, and I want to fill all of those shelves. I'm in the middle of making a little crocheted throw to go on the back of the chair. I've only done 4 squares so far, so I'll update you on that next time. And then this little area here I'm going to have as a little, you know, admin area really. So I've got the computer there, and I'll have all my folders and files and things like that on there. And then obviously our desk, and then all of our supplies on that back cupboard. This little shelf to fill as well, and I was thinking of making some little fabric baskets to go in the shelves. We'll have more bits standing on top. And then we'll be having a rug in here, and I intend to have rugs in all of the rooms. So I'm actually thinking about making a start on the guest bedroom rug, because this is sort of almost complete, this room, apart from obviously now a few accessories, a bag and some cases. We'll have some clothes about, a little bit more makeup on the dressing table, you know, bits on all of the surfaces and things, and make it look as though somebody is actually staying here. So we'll have a look like an open suitcase and things like that, make that look really nice in there. But I do want a nice rug in here because there's lots of floor, you know, before the furniture begins. So we'll have a rug that probably just sort of tucks under the bed and comes down into this area. So I'll be doing an episode, a separate episode on rug making. So really looking forward to that. And I've already ordered the smaller canvas. So I'm ready to go with that. But moving back up then from the attic craft room into the landing, not too much to do in there, and I think I said earlier in this episode about having some suitcases sort of overspill from the main attic out here, and then the attic again I'll sort of sort out towards the end of the project, see what we've got left over to go in there. But I do want more sort of old cases, old trunks, cardboard boxes with things sort of overflowing, and I'm probably going to take this little Christmas decoration out and just use that as part of my sort of Christmas decorations in the house. I really like things like that. So the guest bedroom, we've spoken about the bathroom and the back landing. The main bedroom over here, so I've already designed a large wardrobe to go on that back wall, so that will be a 3-door wardrobe, and then I'm going to make the dressing table and stool that is in one of my books. Now, which book is it? I can't remember, or it might actually even be here on the channel, but I'll make that anyway, and I'll film the episode, although I obviously won't redo the tutorial again, but I will film the episode and let you see what I'm doing with that. I've just spotted a spider up there, and that would be a pretty big one in 12th scale, so I need to get that out. And then also I think I may be getting some damp in the doll's house, because I just noticed these this is the fabric that I printed at the same time as I printed that piece of fabric there on the other side of the quilt. I'm trying to get out of the shadow there, not doing a very good job. And you can see how green it's gone. And if I sort of put my head into the room, it does actually smell a little bit damp in there. So I'm going to redo those pillows, probably not in that fabric now, because I don't think I've got any of that one left, but I'll sort of choose a coordinating colour. And then what is a really good idea, and what I've actually done in the guest bedroom, sorry if I'm making you dizzy spinning you around like this, I've put, it's a good little tip, one of those silica gel packets behind the pillows, just to stop any damp from getting to them. So if you do sort of live in a damp house, you know, like an old house, old cottage or something, and you suffer from damp, or your doll's house is sort of backed up against an outside wall, that might be a good idea. And you get those packets in loads of things, shoe boxes and things like that. And I've actually got a lot in my tool cabinet and in my tool chest, so you know, they are easy to get hold of, so that might be worth doing, just popping a few of those into your doll's house where they can't be seen, even into the furniture and things like that, you know, if you do sort of have problems with damp. So yes, wardrobe and dressing table in there. I might like something at the end of the bed here, and we've certainly got room there, so I could maybe have either a blanket box, or we could perhaps have a long stool at the end there. Again, we'll be having a rug, and I've got a light for that room. In fact, I've got lights for both of the bedrooms. So I've got the pink tulip light for the guest bedroom. Oops, that needs to go in. And I'm actually not looking forward to trying that, because I'm not sure if the copper wire is still going to be working. And because this sort of came already with the copper wire, you know, sort of plumbed in, so to speak, I didn't really know much at that time about lighting. If I'd have sort of lit it myself, I probably would have used wire, which I'm using for my 1940s doll's house, and which I'm getting much better results with, and it's not quite as temperamental as the copper tape. But we'll see when I plug the lights in if we need to do any adjustments, or I'm just a bit worried that I perhaps won't be able to have lights in here now. But I haven't tried them, so they may still work, so let's keep our fingers crossed that they do. And then I've got the clear tulip sort of pendant for in there. I think that looks really nice. Now I've got the pink one, as you just saw, was actually attached to a ceiling rose. Now I ordered those from a company that's no longer going, and I'm pretty sure I ordered enough for the house, but I can't find them if I did. So I think I'm going to have to choose a new style ceiling rose and then order all of them at one go. And I think that's a really good piece of advice as well. If you're ordering things like your skirting and coving, all of your fixtures and fittings, you know, doors if you don't make them yourself, ceiling roses, all things like that that you want repeated in all of the rooms, it's a really good idea to order them in bulk. And I know that can be expensive, but it is rather annoying when you then come to sort of this situation if it's a year or so down the line and you haven't got or you can't get hold of the one that you wanted anymore. So it's a really good idea to try and get everything that you want to match all at the same time. So moving then down to this room, which is going to be the study, lovely sort of blue and cream colour scheme I'm going to be having in there. The wall that I just showed you for the bathroom was actually laid on this floor, along with I think a piece of fabric for this room in a plastic wallet. And where that's been laid, can you see what's happened to the floor there? That also looks like a little bit of damp in there. So I can remove this, but again, I'll perhaps just throw a few of those little gel packets in, even sort of behind the fireplace or something like that. So it's a little bit annoying, a little bit worrying as well, that I might be suffering from damp. But those little gel packets really do help, so I'll start dotting those about in, you know, hidden places. So in here, I'm going to be having a blue velvet Chesterfield sofa, and a nice big unit over on that back wall with some pictures above. We'll have like a picture gallery up there. We'll have a nice coffee table, and I want a really nice sort of bureau over here with a chair, and obviously lots of accessories and things as well. Along then into the main landing, and I either want to have like a sideboard over there, or maybe a chair, you know, a wooden sort of sofa chair, something like that. And then we can have a mirror or a picture above. Make that look really nice in there. Into the living room, and this is going to have a sort of log cabin feel. So lots of reds and creams, lots of different textured fabrics, lots of checked fabrics and things like that. And you might be thinking, why have I got flowered wallpaper if I'm going for checks and plaid and things like that? But I've actually seen a really nice picture of a living room on Laura Ashley with this similar wallpaper and then all of the checks and everything, and it really does look nice all together. So until we've done it, you'll sort of have to trust me on that one. But we'll be having a log burner in there as well, which we'll be making. I'm going to remake the fabric sofa that I originally made in blue, and I'll be making that either in cream or red fabric. Now I've got some cream fabric, but I'm not sure how much it actually takes, so I'm going to have to I'll maybe even just give it a go in the fabric that I've got, and if not I can take it off and redo it again. Then I want a nice wooden armchair in there to go with that log cabin feel. Nice big wooden shelf unit on the back wall there. We'll have lots of books and crocheted throws and all things so you can sort of snuggle up in here. Down to the dining room. Lots of creams and blues in here. I'm going to base the dresser on the one that I've got in my full-sized house, and I've already started collecting a lot of blue and white crockery and china. So we'll have that on the back wall, lovely big dining room table and chairs, and then we'll fit in around these sort of smaller areas what we can, so maybe a nice sort of plant stand or narrow unit there. We'll have some nice curtains at the back door in there. Again, a rug, and a rug again in the living room. Also want to make some runners for the entrance hall and the landings. And I really enjoy making rugs. I find it really relaxing of an evening, just sitting sort of stitching them. So looking forward to doing those. And then finally into the kitchen, which again is, you know, pretty much finished, apart from some more accessories. And I've just put the shelf, or the cupboard, sorry, here at the front, just to show you that I need to carry on with the food packets and things. So I've got a few, and I'm saving labels off sort of tins of soup and tin tomatoes and things like that, so that I can make some more tins to go on there. and then we'll have some more sort of baking supplies and things like that in this section. And again, I'll be filming it all, even though we've sort of done quite detailed tutorials before. I'll still film everything I do and just sort of pop in and we'll have a chat, and I can tell you any sort of new ideas and things that I've had. So also in there, I want to do some more polymer clay projects, so vegetable basket to go beside the sink there. I want to do some breads, and then I've also got to dress this little unit, and at the moment I'm not quite sure what I want to put on there. I also want some nice plates and things on the mantelpiece. And I was actually at a friend's house at the weekend who had a similar setup to this, a large mantelpiece with an Aga, and she had some nice jugs up there and plates and a little clock in the middle, and I was just thinking, that looks really nice, that's a nice idea for the doll's house. I should have took a photo really. So we'll be doing something like that up there. Maybe have some pictures up here. We could even maybe try some miniature embroidery for the wall. And again, I want some runners in the kitchen, and I've seen some really nice ones as well. So we'll perhaps not do an embroidered rug, but we'll still have something in there just to add a bit of warmth, because these stone floorings are quite cold in kitchens. So we want something to, you know, warm up the sort of floor area a little bit. But yeah, really pleased with the kitchen. And yes, then the entrance hall. So again, spoken about having that wooden console table, nice mirrors, pictures, we'll get some plants and things in there, and the runners. So much to do, and I'm so excited about it all, and this is a really lovely stage to be at. And for me, because the sort of designing and building the furniture it's really what I do and how I started. I must say it is my sort of favourite part, but just looking forward to all of it really. So let me know what you think about my plans. If you've had any ideas or things that you think might look nice or that I haven't spoken about, then sort of pop those in the comments below. I know this project is probably going to take me longer than a year, but at the beginning of every year, one of my goals is to finish my doll's house. And it's silly really, because it will probably take me longer than a year to do all of that. But I am going to try and spend some more time with you next year. And even if it's, you know, much shorter videos, so I'll treat each small section of each room as a separate project and a separate video, rather than trying to cram so much in like I sort of tend to do in episodes. And that way hopefully I'll be able to, you know, put more videos on, even though they won't be as long. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for today, but I could probably fill an hour or more talking about what I've got planned for the house. But I hope you've enjoyed this sort of part finishing off, part chatter-filled episode. Now, as I said earlier, do let me know what you think about my plans for the house, and if you have any ideas of what I can do inside, or if there's anything you'd like me to see me include, then do let me know in the comments below. Now, I always read the comments, and I actually have notifications set on my phone so that whenever you leave a comment they pop up. So really I take you with me everywhere I go, but I don't always have time to reply. Now, I've started leaving hearts on the comments just so you know that I've read them, and if you ask me a direct question I will try to answer it, but please do keep your comments coming because I do love to read them. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for now and let you get on with your day, but I will be back very soon with another episode. So until then, take good care and happy miniaturing. Bye!